All right, everyone. So now that we've just gone through all the information about the Displacement Risk Index, before we jump into our activity for this module, I'm actually going to pass it back to Abdul, just sort of for a note as we're thinking about actually using the tool.
Right. Thanks, Alex. So as you are looking at the displacement risk map, we want to just recognize that you may look at it and you may feel like, oh, that level doesn't fully represent or doesn't seem as accurate, or you might be questioning the accuracy. And the formula that is used to kind of define the levels is something that was come at by advocates who are working on the legislation and eventual creation of the tool to consider how people's population vulnerability, so who is living there and how vulnerable they are to displacement, was changed or impacted by the housing conditions, the changes in housing, the changes in rent, the changes in prices, as well as the market pressures that were occurring from the changes in the population that was coming in, or the ways that developers were impacting the housing market. So if you wanted to get a better understanding, that formula that's used to calculate that comes from an understanding of how are these factors impacting who is most vulnerable and who is most at risk of being taken out or pushed out of their neighborhood.
Awesome. Thank you. And so with that in mind, for our activity for this module, we are asking, look at the view of the displacement risk index, just like we've done for some of the other modules and some of the pieces, like spend some time clicking around and with that understanding, right, of that the formula for compiling and creating the index gives weight to those population vulnerabilities. The activity for this module is to find two neighborhoods that are the same color as far as whether they have a very high or a moderate or a low displacement risk overall. And then go through both of them and look at those different categories, right? Do they have the same housing conditions? Do they have the same demographics and population vulnerabilities? Do they have the same market pressure? And then sort of notice what's different, what's similar, and sort of the ways in which an overall score is reached on the displacement risk index, but it allows for sort of different levels of those different factors in different neighborhoods. So as always on these activities, if there's any comments or thoughts or things that jump out, please share them with the city. But yeah, just spend some time going through and sort of comparing different neighborhoods that maybe are either close by each other or that are in different parts of the city that maybe have a similar risk level, and look at everything that goes into sort of creating that final score about the displacement risk. And that said, we will see everyone in our next module where we sort of start synthesizing some of this data.